Hey, good morning. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Now we can see a little bit closer now, and it's starting to get a little bit like we do have a possible tornado threat, but I'm still showing it's still going to be a lot of large hail coming with this next system and some possible hurricane force wind gusts, as well as a critical chance for our fires, and we do have chances for the dry thunderstorms, which is even more dangerous in the fire threat area. Remember, all the links are in the description to help save you time. Thank you so much for your time today. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you've never been here. I am all year long. Now let's get into the forecast, guys. Now this video was put out by Madison Shackles at Twitter, link in the description, of all the lightning show that they actually had in Iowa. A lot. And if you actually take it frame by frame, you can see how it just lit up the skies. But there was a lot of lightning going on in Iowa. And more to come. Wow. Now for today, your national alerts, you do have the freeze warnings on the West Coast. You do have the high wind warnings, and I'm showing it's going to get worse as we go into tomorrow, as well as the fire threat. So for today, you will have thunderstorms in all this green. You do have a tornado chance according to National Weather Service, a 2% down here in the green, as well as up here in the upper Midwest, 5% in the brown, and a 10% in that yellow. You do have a wind threat, but you still have that very large hail threat. And I think that is really going to be your biggest issues, is the large hail as well as the damage in winds. So here's your cities at risk for the tornado threat for today. Your biggest being the 10% of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Sioux City, Iowa, Mankato, Minnesota, Ledyard, Iowa, and New Ulm, Minnesota, as well as your 5% in the brown and your 2% in the green. Also for your large hail for today, your significant severe Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Sioux City, Iowa, Mankato, Minnesota, Clovis, New Mexico, and Hobbs, New Mexico, as well as your 30% in the red, your 15% in the yellow, and your 5% in the brown for today. Now for tomorrow, you will have thunderstorms in all of this green, and you do have another tornado threat chance. You have the 2% in the green, the 5% in the brown, and a 10% in the yellow. You also have the wind threat for tomorrow is going to ramp up for tomorrow. I'm showing Thursday is really going to be the biggest day. Big 30% chance for damage and winds in this red, and you still have a lot of large hail coming with all those lightning strikes for tomorrow. But here's your cities at risk for the tornado threat for tomorrow, for Thursday. Your biggest threat being a 10%, Moorhead, Minnesota, Watertown, South Dakota, Wilmar, Minnesota, Fergus Falls, Minnesota, and Brainerd, Minnesota, as well as your 5% in the brown and your 2% in the green, as well as your significant severe chance for hail for tomorrow, for Thursday. Your biggest chance being Minneapolis, Minnesota, once again, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota, Sioux City, Iowa, and Bloomington, Minnesota, as well as your 30% in the red, your 15% in the yellow, and your 5% in the brown. This is for Thursday. And as we check our helicity tracks, which lets us know our wind direction change with height, which is exactly what a tornado is, you do have a chance for getting a cell for eastern, northeastern Nebraska going through Iowa. You also have one for North Dakota going into northern Minnesota. I don't see much for Texas, but this all starts around 3 to 4 p.m., and then it starts dragging on all the way to 9 and 10 p.m. tonight. Now, when you go with the 48-hour HRRR, as y'all know, I don't really find it a whole bunch accurate. It just lets you know what is coming. And for the first 18 hours, you can see how much different it is than an 18-hour load up. But as you go for tomorrow, you can see what we could be expecting. And so far, we could get some cells going all the way from Minnesota into northern Wisconsin, but it shows right around 4 o'clock in the morning we could get, I say could because this is the 48-hour, but we could get a long-lived cell, maybe a possible violent tornado around northern South Dakota and southern North Dakota. So it could be one that pop up for tomorrow morning. So just be aware of that just in case. And once again, I don't see too much happening with the cells in Texas. You do have thunderstorms coming, but I don't see a tornado threat. But the atmosphere will be full of all these dew points to support all these thunderstorms. And right around tomorrow, it really explodes up with some strong dew points in the upper Midwest. And you get a nasty dark streak of 70 dew points. And this is very strong dew points starting tomorrow morning and raising all the way up into eastern North Dakota, Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin. High 70 dew points. So it definitely could be a lot of bad thunderstorms, a lot of lightning, and this could help with the tornadoes. And as you look for your lift, your cape, which helps us get these thunderstorms roaring, you can see as you go through today, you get a lot of strong cape values. Now that's a lot of the heat that is in the atmosphere. A lot of this is just going to be a lot of the warm temperatures, because not only do we have the warm temperatures now, I'm showing after this next cool down from this next cold front is going to come back. And there's not a lot of precipitation in all of that. But as you go to later on and into tomorrow, when you see those strong dew points, it does raise up your cape values, and you do have some precipitation coming at that time. Very strong cape values, over 6,000, almost 7,000 for the same areas. Eastern North Dakota, central to northern Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin. But for today, you started getting some storms, nothing super serious you need to worry about. But as you go into the afternoon, then you start getting these cells that pop up right around eastern South Dakota and western, southwestern Minnesota. And that does get some shear on them. It's starting to get some shear on those cells that will help it get rotation with height, and it will give it a chance for it to become a tornado. That goes all the way from southwestern Minnesota and bursts all the way towards central Minnesota. The whole time it is getting shear. Now that's the first 18 hours. That's as far as we can see on 18 hours of rapid refresh, high resolution. But when I show you on the 48 hours, you will still see the same thing. And on the 48 hours, you can still see these cells moving from South Dakota going into Minnesota. So it is showing it on both. Timing is a little bit different, but I am still showing that you are getting some shear on some of those cells as you go into this afternoon, mostly for southern Minnesota. So it will be southern to central Minnesota on these chances for tornadoes that I do see. We got a nasty little curve on that one right there, but you are getting a lot of shear on these storms as it raises up today, mostly around 5 p.m. all the way until later tonight, 9 and 10 o'clock, also going across Wisconsin, and you get a little bowing out in that as well, and you are getting precipitation with that storm, so it is a chance for that to become a tornado as well. So just be aware, I do see southern Minnesota into central Minnesota, and then north and northwestern Wisconsin for the chances for the tornadoes. And tomorrow is going to be the same effects. You're getting the snow and a wraparound from Montana, a little bit of Idaho and Wyoming, while you're getting some thunderstorms and possibly some thunder snow. But as these cells pop in for tomorrow as well, it's going to be around the same location. You have precipitation coming into the area, and when you look at your shear, you get a little speed shear on this storm, so it could tumble over itself. But you have a better chance on the one in Minnesota as it goes through the day and it starts getting some nasty little shear on that cell. And you can see the cell moving through. And that is once again 5 and 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So you do have cells moving through today and tomorrow. Tomorrow these cells look like it's getting way more shear on them as they move through the area. Then you get some nasty little frontline storms that move through and getting some winds with that as well. So tomorrow definitely looks like a worse chance for tornadoes than today. But today it does look like later this afternoon, definitely for Minnesota. But I do believe it will still be a large hail threat. I've been saying this for days. That'll be more of a large hail threat than anything. And as you go through this afternoon, you get a lot of lightning strikes. All this white is indicative to chances for large hail, guys. But mostly as it goes to the upper Midwest, that's where it gets more severe all night long to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, even 10 o'clock. You get a little bowing out in that storm, and then it starts winding down as you go to 11 o'clock. And then for tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be a rinse and repeat. You got all these lightning strikes and chances for large hail as this storm moves through tomorrow afternoon. And then once again, later in the afternoon, it's going to be for the upper Midwest once again for all these lightning strikes to bring chances for very large hail. So you need to watch out for hail once again, not only for what you already had, but you got a couple of days of it still to come. And as you check HRRR to see your chances for this hail, you can see as you go through Iowa this evening around 6 o'clock. This is military time. If you take away 12 hours, it's very simple to read, but it is Eastern time. Around 6 o'clock, you're starting getting some inch to almost inch and a hail. This is your max size for eastern Nebraska, as well as for Iowa, going into southern Minnesota, and for northern Minnesota. But as you go into later in the evening, it starts growing for northern Minnesota. That's around 7 o'clock as it goes into 8 and 9 o'clock. So you do have chances for large hail as well. Northern Minnesota getting the worst of it, over 1.5 inches. So you do have a chance for a lot of hail to come with this storm as well. And as you take a look for the central plains, you can see it really don't add up to much for anybody else. It is going to be in the northern plains, the upper Midwest, for this hail, as well as for Texas. As you go into later this evening, around 9 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock, you start getting chances for hail to come out of this storm, mostly in the panhandle of Texas, and it's a little over 1 inch. We can't see into tomorrow on this. This is only the first 18 hours. And then as you go through Friday, you do have severe weather for Friday. I do believe it will also be for damaging winds and chances for large hail. So you have a 5% chance for Friday in this brown and a 15% chance in this yellow. So your cities at risk for the severe weather for Friday. Your biggest being a 15% of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, and Madison, Wisconsin, as well as your 5% in the brown. But when you look at your 850 millibar winds according to HRRR for today, it lets you know when you have wind shear for these tornadoes. You can see you really don't have a lot going on with these winds. There are some winds coming on, but it's not super strong to support a lot of chances for tornadoes, guys. But as you go on with the 48-hour and go on for tomorrow, you start building up chances not only for Nebraska, but it starts growing, and that's at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it starts getting a little growth, and it gets a little spotty. As the system revolves around, it starts bringing the winds on both sides. But you can see it really don't grow to a lot of chances. There is some white in there, which is indicative to good chances for some wind shear to help these tornado cells really ramp up, and that's right where I'll show them to you for tomorrow, southwestern Minnesota. But it's spotty. It's not controlling the whole area. You can see that white is just spotty. So the first half of the day for tomorrow, 7 and 8 o'clock, eastern South Dakota, southern and southwestern Minnesota. Then as it goes through the evening, it's going to start raising up. As you go to 10 p.m., it'll be for northern Minnesota. So there's not a lot of chances for tornadoes from what I can see as far as wind shear. So maybe some speed shear will help these with these winds, because I am showing some hurricane force winds. And with speed shear, instead of getting the rotation with the different height changes, it will have it tumble over itself because it's going so fast it can't keep up. It's kind of like a big person trying to run and your feet can't keep up. You just tumble and fall. But it's really starting to ramp up with the chances for hurricane force winds on these cells. Now, as we look with HRRR 18 hours, as this moves in, you get some 40, 50 miles per hour wind gust. To 50 is the orange. But these low spots you see for northeastern Nebraska, western Iowa, is starting getting up to the 80 miles per hour wind gust. And as you go through this afternoon, it really ramps up more for eastern South Dakota, southwestern Minnesota. Get up to 80 and 90 miles per hour wind gusts on those cells. So it does look like it is at some dangerous winds and some large hail mostly. I think you will get chances for tornadoes for southern and southwestern Minnesota, maybe a little bit for central Minnesota as you go through your evening. But I think it's really going to be a large hail and damage and wind threat. As you go later tonight, you can see it starts ramping up with some more 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts from Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. And you can see the difference with the HRRR 48 hours. The highest is 88 miles per hour wind gust, and that's right on that cell for northeastern South Dakota. Some of these are in 50 and high 60s. But just to get a look at what could happen, because that did show a very dangerous cell going through North Dakota for tomorrow, you can see the winds do pick up for tomorrow, and it gets very violent. It gets all the way to 60, 70 miles per hour wind gusts. The upper elevations of Colorado starts getting into the 70 and 80 miles per hour wind gusts for the upper elevations of Wyoming. Then tomorrow evening for those cells going through Nebraska, Kansas, and Minnesota. This starts getting in over 100 possibility. This is 48 hours. It does overdo it just a little bit. But you do have chances for anywhere from 60 to 100 miles per hour wind gusts coming with these cells for tomorrow evening. So I'm showing that your biggest threat is going to be for tomorrow as far as high hurricane force winds, chances for tornadoes, and your hail threat is for today and tomorrow as well. And we do have the fire risk for today. You do have the elevated in this orange right here by western Florida, as well as all this orange in a critical level in this red. And this right here is a chance for dry thunderstorms. Now, dry thunderstorms is when the precipitation evaporates before it comes down to the base clouds and goes down to the ground. That is most dangerous to help with rapid fire growth on these wildfires because there'll be a lot of lightning strikes. So this area right here that's in that fire risk, especially chances for dry thunderstorms, you literally got to go with the old saying, when the thunder roars, you better go indoors because this is where you're going to get a lot of that lightning. But your city's at risk for your critical fire threat for today. Your biggest ones being Albuquerque, New Mexico, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado, and Highlands Ranch, Colorado. And for tomorrow, this is going to stick around. You're going to have very low humidity, and you're still going to have the winds. The winds are going to be worse today, though. You have elevated in this orange and the critical in the red for tomorrow, for Thursday. And your cities at risk for Thursday for the fire threat: Colorado Springs, Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado, Cimarron Hills, Colorado, Black Forest, Colorado, and Fountain, Colorado. And you can see right here on the satellite shot for New Mexico that you do have all these black is showing you all these fires is growing, and especially growing in these two sections right here a lot. Don't worry about these lines. This is just your cape, your lift. And you can actually get a better view with NOAA satellites. That's what this is. Link in the description if you want to go watch any of these videos I'm showing you. But you can see all the wildfires going off for New Mexico. It's pretty bad. And here's an aerial view that was posted by Brave Spirit. I love Brave Spirit. It always posts a lot of good information. But this is the aerial view of the New Mexico wildfires. What it looks like way up in the air, guys. And this is a view posted by Elaine Semino from our cousin's house showing you these wildfires. There's a lot of evacuations still going on in the area, guys. So God bless you, New Mexico. Y'all are dealing with a lot. Video in the description. And you can see with your humidity levels as you go through today, you really get into the single digits for a lot of y'all in the Southwest. And some of y'all is a little above the single digits, but it's dry enough with this humidity to where it can help fuel them wildfires, especially where you have them dry thunderstorms. You need to watch out for those dry thunderstorms. That is a big deal. Then as you go through tomorrow, it's going to raise up again. It's going to be even drier for northern New Mexico and for Colorado. Literally 1 or 2 on your humidity levels. The wind is going to be a little less, but it is going to be drier. That's why you have the fire threat for tomorrow as well. And you can see with your wind gusts that you really get into 30 and 40 miles per hour wind gusts as you go through all evening long. Then as you go through tomorrow, that's when you have the fire risk as well, but your winds are not going to be as strong for today. Tomorrow, your winds will be in the 20s, where today you're going to be in the high 30s to 40s. The system off the East Coast is really contributing to the flow of everything, guys, and you really have some 20s, maybe some low 30s, but you really got some low humidity coming in this afternoon. It's not staying too long. It does go back around 5 and 6. But it's in the 20s until then, and you are getting a little bit of winds. And so far around 11 and 12 o'clock, you get some 20 miles per hour wind gusts. It does move through. It does dissipate later, like I said, around 6 o'clock. But your humidity levels come back by then. So these 20 miles per hour wind gusts that last the rest of the evening really don't do anything because your humidity levels come back. So really about 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon, all the way to 5 and 6 o'clock, you do have the winds with those dry levels. So just be aware of Florida, western Florida. But I'm still showing that when we look at our Arctic oscillation, lets us know when we have these cold fronts coming down. I'm still showing after this big warm up that we're in, that it is going to start coming down and come down into the 20s. And we are coming into some cooler temperatures, guys. Now, I took myself out of the shot so you can get a good look at this. And this link is in the description for you so you can see your highs and your lows according to NOAA and National Weather Service for this week. For today, these are going to be your high temperatures. For tomorrow, it's going to move a little more to the upper Midwest, really helping with those Cape values. That's why you saw it so strong. And as you go through Friday, it's going to move a little more eastern, northeastern. After that, we have that cold front starting to make its way for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's going to start coming back. And you can see this when you take a good look at your temperatures. Now, as you go through for today, it does get really warm. As you go through for tomorrow, it warms up even more. That's what really makes all that instability in the atmosphere with all those strong Cape values. As you go through Friday, it's going to start moving a little more eastern, northeastern, but it's going to start warming up in the south again soon. As you go through Saturday, you see it warming right back up. Then you go through Sunday, then you start getting that cold front coming down, but you start getting these very hot temperatures once again for Texas, Oklahoma, up to 106, 104 degrees once again. As you go through Monday, still bringing the heat in the south, 104 to 106 degrees again. As you go through Tuesday, that cold front's going to start making its way down. People in the upper Midwest is going to be in the 30s and 40s now, and that is for your morning lows. But as you go through the evening, it's going to start warming right back up for Texas. So Texas, you will have a little bit of a cool down going on, not much, but then the heat is going to come right back. And that does expand 90s all across the south and the southeast. As you go through the 18th, you can see the cold front coming down, but it's still going to be warm in Texas for your highs. So overnight, it will be feeling a little cool for the upper Midwest, Ohio Valley. Daytime is going to be in the 90s in the south. The south central going to be over 100 again. With the coldest being around your morning temperatures for the 23rd. Is bringing 40s to everybody, even towards the east coast. It's going to the upper half of the Ohio Valley while y'all still are warm. And that is the update. So I hope that it helps you understand a little bit more of what's coming. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. God bless every single one of you. And today, I want to go over Psalm 12. How true it is. Help, Lord, for the godly man ceaseth, for the faithful fail from among the children of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor. With flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak. The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh proud things. Who have said, with our tongue will we prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us? For the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy, now will I arise, saith the Lord. I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him. The words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. Thou shalt keep them, O Lord. Thou shalt preserve them from this generation forever. The wicked walk on every side, while the vilest men are exalted. Amen. So above all things, remember, be there for your neighbor. Keep your heart light on. People need help. That's what we're supposed to do. Help our neighbors. They are our brothers and sisters. All glory, all power, all honor does go to Yahweh, God of Jacob, our Father. And he is coming back for us sooner than a lot of you think. Amen. Hallelujah. Can't wait for that day. Have a great day.